What's up, guys? Just finished the medium a couple days ago. Took a couple days to stew on it, and now I figured I'd share some of my final thoughts on the game. Overall, really liked it. Um, there are a few nitpicky things that I can talk about first. I see why they say to use a controller with the game. Using the keyboard, there were times where it wasn't consistent. In the motion, for instance, I would go room from one room to the other and the camera angle would change. And sometimes I could keep pushing the same button that technically should lead me in a different direction, but it would lead me in the right one. And then other times it would do the same kind of shift. And I would be running backwards into the wall or something like that. And I would have to immediately change my key or I'd be running circles. So that's just a nitpicky thing. It was, maybe it's just me because I'm not used to playing a bunch of games on keyboard, but it wasn't consistent in what it do when it did those shifts between rooms and camera angles. And I tested it to be sure it wasn't, just me being crazy. Um, I wish there was more use of your powers during the game. You use them a good bit to recall things or to spark an electrical box or, fight against a monster just so you can run away. But I feel like there should have been opportunities to use them more. Because I really liked, I like doing that, especially to basically the out of body experience. I really liked being able to do that, but I just feel like it didn't give enough opportunity to, let's just do that in the game. I feel like they could have done more. Um, I really enjoyed the dual reality aspect of it. It made it a little more difficult to me because I would be focusing on, say, normal reality and picking up things there, and then I wouldn't notice things in the alternate reality, in the, I guess you could call the soul world or whatever. I wouldn't notice things in there because I was so focused on the other. So that made it interesting to have to tell myself, hey, stop. You need to look at both. Um, Especially the way that you would find physical things in one reality, but you would find more spiritual things, and I guess you call them, the remnants that you put back together in the spirit reality. I really liked being able to do that and being able to pick up certain objects and basically, get a moment from their past. That was interesting. Um, I thought that the using the, parts of the passive objects and and putting together moments was a nice, interesting way to tell the narrative and to get the main character's backstory. I had an idea from the beginning that she would somehow be related to this place and perhaps related to the little girl. So that didn't necessarily, surprise me how it ended. Um, but it, I guess it was a pleasant surprise to find out that I was right. Because I think it made it have more meaning in the end to find out that there was something more than, oh, you're just somebody with powers and you were, you know, sent to this place. Um, I liked the puzzles in the game, trying to figure your way out of rooms and figure out how to find, different little things. I did have trouble sometimes finding the some of the little things like off in the corner of stuff, like if it was just like a little white dot, or if you had to basically hold down your control button and to be able to notice something. I often forgot to do that, which, that's on me, not necessarily on the game. Um, Now, Thomas was interesting, especially because he had a different relationship with his, I guess we could call other self. I don't know how others describe it. They seem to butt heads, but Marianne worked symbiotically with hers. So she fed off of things that were, happy moments. While on the other hand, he fed off things that were bad. And so I wonder why hers ended up in one way and his ended up in the other. Because she obviously has scars in her past. She doesn't remember them, but they're there. Is it just because she wasn't in the same environment as Thomas and her sister? Or is there something more to it? And what exactly made Thomas feed off of the, bad mojo, I guess you could say? Was it the things that he had done in his past, which obviously weren't good because it involved World War and Nazis and all that stuff? So obviously he did some naughty, naughty things. But was there more to his past that made him like that? And how in the hell did he wind up with, these powers? I'm assuming that since it seems to leave open the fact that Thomas, real Thomas, not Spirit Thomas, real Thomas is alive at the end of this game, that there's going to be a sequel or DLC or something that will explain Thomas's story. So I really want to get more of that and see more of his side, especially um, with the things involving his daughters. And I'd really like to know more of Lily or Lillian. I'd like to know more of her story. Um, I feel like we got a decent bit of that, but I'd like to know more of what it was like for her growing up like this. Basically caged away. Uh, what what made her so vulnerable to basically having her, the bad things that happened to her manifest and come out? What made her different than the others? Um, but that leaves some good space to explore in the next game, which I'm assuming there will be. Um, one thing, the end has me torn. On one hand, I kind of liked it that they just ended it right there, especially knowing that it seems like they're going to have, a sequel of some sort. Um, but either way you chop it, if Marianne, killed herself, then eh, does that really help her sister? I mean, her sister's still stuck with that thing. Will it fade away? Or will her sister be vulnerable to it? Who will her sister have? Because her dad's off doing some of his own shit, apparently. So would that be good for her sister? Um, and if she did kill Lily, uh, and therefore she can kill the other guy, but I mean, that makes me mad at Thomas because you put this on your other daughter to kill her sister who she just found out she had. And that just seems pretty damn horrible. So I feel like there's got to be more to what happened the longer I've thought about it. I think it would be too simple to say she killed one or killed herself. Um, if they're both powerful mediums, you would think they would be able to find some way to fight against this manifestation together. Um, if they just had some time to work it out, especially with their father going and doing whatever he's doing. I'm sure it has something to do with this, something to do with trying to figure out how to save both his daughters. Because, I mean, that was his thing. He was trying to save, the world from Lillian, but he was also trying to save Lillian because he could have just, offed her. And that was one thing that Marianne was worried about was, did he kill you? Well, no, but, maybe he should have. I don't know. His father loving both of his daughters, and he tells, Marianne Butterfly, you can't save everyone. But it feels like that's what he's trying to do. So, and those worlds also come from the spirit self, which is more rough and gruff and, willing to do horrible things, apparently. So, what does the real Thomas think? Because they're obviously different. It's not like Marianne and her spirit form. Um, so I don't know. It leaves me with a lot of unanswered questions, I would say. I don't feel like it's a complete story yet, so I really do hope that, a sequel or DLC is in the works. Because if not, then, there's so much that's left open that just kind of disappoints me. But I think they have so much to work with that they've left open, that they can explore in a second game or a DLC. So I really hope that they do that. And I hope that they work more with the abilities in the game, because like I said, I wanted to be able to do more with that. And I feel like they could have done more, gave you more opportunity to use the different ones. And it seemed like whenever I wanted to use them to fight back against, a creature or something, I didn't have them. I'd have them at specific set moments that they obviously said you'd have them, but I wish there was more like in between stuff for you to really, use them. I wanted to explore the magic. I mean, that was very interesting to see the abilities that they had and the differences between, her Marianne and her father. Um, so that's pretty much my thoughts on the game. I would give it a 4 out of 5. Not a lot of things to complain about. Just, it had really great graphics and the acting I thought was good. I liked the story. It had, a very interesting narrative. And I tend to get into narrative games. Not everyone. I mean, like, I don't like the Walking Dead Telltale games because they bored me to death. But this one kept my attention because it was constant, with basically new mystery to explore and revealing small little things to keep your attention. So I'd say that's something that it definitely excelled in for me, was keeping my attention on the story. There's just some gameplay things that I think could have been better. So, Anyway, 4 out of 5. Good game. I'll definitely recommend it for anybody to play, especially if you're not, great at shooting games, but you like narrative games. Definitely give it a shot. I think you'll like it. Not so much scary, but suspenseful, thriller. Had some good graphics when it came to making it creepy, but it wasn't necessarily, something that was I would consider horror or anything like that. Just, a little bit of horror elements and monsters, but, we're just a little creepy, a thriller, a mystery, definitely a mystery. Um, so that's all I got. Until next time, bye.